Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to the Phizcast. I am once again at another desk because I was using the desk in the other room to record, and now I'm using the desk in my room to record. And I've done my best to make this desk look aesthetically pleasing. However, since it's, the nature of it being in a boy's room, it's become a storage facility. At least a little bit. Parts of it have. And of course it doesn't look the best it can, but it doesn't get in the way of anything. So there's really nothing to have a problem with. Another update. There was I guess this is a small story time. When I went to visit my uncle in a faraway state, I got a giant Skeletor pop figure because I'd been looking for it, and it wasn't in the Walmart that I have. It wasn't in my Walmart. It was one day. There were 3 of them, and then 2 days later, gone, all 3 of them. And then they never came back, ever. They got different He-Man giant pop figures and other giant pop figures, but never Skeletor. And I wanted Skeletor because Skeletor is funny and hilarious. And the pop figure looks super cool. So I got it in that other place and brought it back to my place. And now it is on my desk. I wanted to keep it on the desk whenever I recorded, and so I believe I'm going to try and start doing that. I guess it's sort of an omen, a reminder, a tradition, per se. All 3 of those meant completely different things. I think tradition was the most accurate one, but just to keep it there. It looks nice, and I think it'd be funny, and it gives it purpose. I have, a fair amount of pop figures. I really don't know. Nothing like, Max Mofo's pop figure collection or serious collecting, no. My goal is kind of to take one character that I like from every franchise that I enjoy and then get a pop figure for it. So I have, My Hero, Pokemon, Overwatch, Masters of the Universe, of course, We Bare Bears. Those are my favorite ones. They're so cool. They're the little flocked pop figures, and they're awesome. But anyway, yeah, there's the updates. I also, similarly, thought of a name for sort of what this is. It's kind of a storytime channel. Generally, storytime is associated with animation. And while I'm not an animator, I do enjoy telling stories. I do enjoy this sort of storytime peek into the headspace of physics kind of ideology. And I guess not really a story time, because story time is, an actual story, and this is more of just kind of food for thought. But I guess I'm more of a story time channel than anything, which maybe one day, if someone would animate an episode, that might be super cool. That someone might be me, or a friend I know IRL, maybe any one of you guys. Anyone who, if I happen to blow up, sees this someday, animating an episode, because I think that'd be super cool. But, animating's not entirely out of my ability, but it is, in fact, out of my budget. I don't have anything to animate with. I have a touchscreen laptop, but that's not gonna do me a great lot of good for animating or drawing, because I put my hand down on the paper when I draw. Or paper, or whatever medium I'm using to draw. I put my hand down on the paper, which is one reason painting is so hard for me, because it's a lot harder for me to be exact. But, I don't know. I guess I kind of wanted to go into this with a different idea, but I guess art is a really good place to say this. It's a really good thing to talk about. This is a really good place to talk about it. Art's super cool. Everyone kind of when you first hear the word art, you immediately associate it with drawings or paintings. If you're a certain kind of person, you often associate it with music. But art really is not bound by one specific medium. It is bound to essentially an infinite amount, because art is relative, like many things, which I'll get into that someday. But art is relative, like many things, and depending on what or how you perceive something, it could be art, or it could just be a banana taped to a wall. It could be anything. But of course, one person thinking about that doesn't necessarily define what it is. But if multiple people think that a banana on a wall is in fact art, or, hang on, give me 1 second. Jason Pollock, that might not have picked up. Jason Pollock, the one who essentially throws paint on a canvas and calls it abstract art. If other people look at it as art, then it might as well be. Of course, that man was much more successful, and if you Google his name, you get many more results. So, very impressive. By all means, go ahead, it's art. However, some people might ridicule it, or some people might believe it to be the exact opposite, where it's just having a stroke on a canvas. But it doesn't really matter what they think, because if a separate group of people believe that it's art and believe that it's beautiful and believe that it's something to be revered and stuff like that, then it's art. It's a creative medium. And that is a great way to express it. A creative medium through which you can expose, what's the word I'm thinking of? Through which you can express feeling and emotion and stories. And then you hear that word stories and you kind of think, old fairy tales or books or words or stuff like that. But no, contemporary dance, that tells a story. Every picture is worth 1,000 words, and music is absolutely a phenomenal way to express emotion. But yeah, regarding that, it's very much just something that you can put emotion into. Something that takes what is in your soul and puts it into something that is tangible. Even though music isn't technically tangible, but you can transpose it, and transcribe it, and that works. But into something that's tangible, into something that is real and can be spread to other people. Because the thoughts in your head, the perception of what you believe to be true, can't necessarily be spread to other people outside of you telling them how it is. And then there's not much room for perception. There's just kind of you saying it, and then that's the fact. Of course, they can choose to believe it different ways, but it's a whole other story from looking at a painting. A painting. I have an art museum in the place where I live. It is an amazing art museum. Simultaneously, it's very confusing because there are certain pieces in there which will baffle my senses because I don't understand how someone considered this art in the first place. Of course, that's my perception of it. As I take a second and look into it deeper and deeper, I can kind of begin to see the meaning of it. But I will never, ever know exactly what was running through the person's head that made it. But someone else might know exactly what it means. It might tell the story of their life. It might scream and shout from the rooftops that this is exactly what I'm feeling. This is exactly what I've needed, and through this, I can find myself. It's very black and white, I think. You either do understand it or you don't. It's kind of relative to music taste. I can't really say black and white. That didn't make sense. There are gray areas, and I will relate this to music. Do you like music? Are there certain types of music that you like, and other types of music that you don't like? And then music that, if someone plays it on the aux cord, they're like, all right, you're going to listen to this, and I'm like, fine. And it just begins to grow on you, or it doesn't grow on you at all, but you have to sit through it because you're riding in someone else's car. Yeah, that kind of thing. You can like music, you cannot like music, but you can also find someone who loves the exact same song that you don't like, that you can't find anything to enjoy in it. It's less of a talk now about art and more of a talk about perception. Perception is extremely, extremely important in understanding it, but it is still at its core art. Art is... I'm just going to say this again because I think it's a really good line. Art is a creative medium. There is nothing that defines the boundaries of what art is or isn't outside of how many people agree with you. If you write a book, it's art. Music is art. Drawing is art. Painting is art. Sculpting is art. Script writing is art. Designing, interior design, architectural stuff, all of that. It's all art. As long as you put your thought into it and your heart into it, then of course it's art. Who's to say it isn't? That's actually one of the first times I've come to a good closing point around 10 minutes. in recent memory, of course, because 5 months ago I might have done that. Anyway, I'm going to stop it right there. This has actually been philosophical, somewhat. That sounds a little bit self-absorbed, but I don't think it is. I don't know if it is. I don't know. Now, watch last episode for my thoughts on that. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. If you are having a great day, continue having a great day. If you are not having a great day, good luck. I wish you the best in whatever you're going through, and tell someone about it. Talk to them. Maybe they can help you too. I'm sure I have an episode on it. All right, thank you very much. I will see you when I see you. Bye-bye.